Hi guys, in today's video I want to give you a few tips on how to improve your running economy. A few small things you can do that can have a big influence on your running. Like your sitting posture, your running technique can also be changed. Now my favorite runner of all time is Mo Farah, a legend when it comes to distance running. And the way that he spent years to perfect his running technique. Sadly, even his running technique is not perfect. Now a lot of research has gone into finding the perfect running technique or the perfect running style. They compared pose running and chi running, barefoot running, short running, and not even one of them could be said to be the perfect running technique. What we can take out of this is that there are many ways that you can improve or adapt your running style so that it better fits your body. The first aspect, and also the most important one, is your running cadence. Now cadence refers to the number of strides you take in every minute. Optimally, you should get 180 strides in every minute, or 90 foot contacts on each leg. Now, this is a very difficult task for especially taller runners and slower runners, but it's also very important since it will help all the other factors of your running economy to fall in place. The best way to do it is to run on a treadmill where you can see the timer. And as you run, you count the steps on one of your legs. Focus on getting 15 steps in every 10-second time period. If you struggle to get to 15, try swinging your arms faster so you can improve your leg speed. Another way to improve your cadence is to download music with 180 strokes per minute beat. And as you run, you listen to the music and you just try to keep your strides on the rhythm of the music. We also get some nice running watches that can give you feedback on your running dynamics. So check your watch, look at your running cadence and just adjust your style accordingly. The second aspect we are going to look at is your foot striking position. In other words, the area of your foot that strikes the ground first as you run. Now, if you're not a dominant heel striker or a dominant front foot striker, then you might have to take a slow-mo video just to check. Now, research tells us that there is no foot striking position that is superior to another. But what it also tells us is that the striking position changes the loading area on our bodies. For instance, a front foot striking position will apply more load to your plantar fascia, your Achilles tendon, your calf muscles, the lower quarter of your body. Whereas a heel striking pattern will apply more load higher up in the chain, your knees and hip joints for instance. That is why it's better to adapt your foot striking position to your injury history. If you, for instance, struggle with plantar fasciitis or Achilles tendonitis or so, it could be better for you to move to a more heel striking pattern. If you struggle with patellofemoral pain or a hip joint pathology, for instance, it could be beneficial for you to move to a more front foot striking pattern. One thing to keep in mind is that most professional runners are front foot strikers, so it does tend to be faster than a heel striking pattern. But since we're not all built like professional runners, you have to make your choice according to your body type. Following through with momentum will save you energy, and that brings me to my third aspect, your leg swing. Now, leg swing refers to how high your heel is lifted from the ground after ground contact. A higher leg swing will make it possible for your foot to return to the front faster and easier, and with that increase your efficiency. Think of a rotation motion happening with your foot instead of a pendulum motion. Rotation motion carries momentum, and that is why it's much faster and more efficient. You can improve your leg swing by trying to pull back the road as you run. Another way to train this is to do rhythm drills to teach your brain this action. A little bit more on rhythm drills in another video. The last two aspects are much harder to check and much harder to correct. Luckily, they tend to fix themselves as our cadence improves. These two aspects are your stride length and your ground contact time. When your stride length is too long, you end up with a braking force every time your foot hits the ground, and that causes a decrease in your running efficiency. Now, we can measure your stride length by doing a video analysis, but we can't apply a normal measurement to this since each of us has a different leg length. It's much better just to focus on your cadence because it's nearly impossible to have a good cadence and also overstride. Ground contact time can be improved by increasing the elasticity and plasticity of your tendons. This is done with good old plyometric training to help your tendons to amplify your muscle action. And the best example for this is to do rope skipping. And there you have it. A few things to go and look at during your next run. Very important to know before you go and change your running is that this should be done gradually. Any changes for that matter should be done gradually. So take one aspect, work on it, and once you no longer have to think about it, then take the next aspect and work on that. There are many apps available that can slow down a video for you. So buddy up with a friend and go record your run, either on a treadmill or on a flat piece of road, and then give yourself feedback on your running. If you have any questions on your running, just post it below and I can see if I can sort you out. Remember, your running style is a lot like juggling. It's a motor skill that develops between your brain and muscles. A great juggler has great communication between his brain and his muscles during the act of juggling. So that enables him to juggle numerous burning torches at once. A great runner has good communication between his brain and his muscles during the act of running, which enables him to run effortlessly and efficiently for hours on end. Both of these take years to perfect.